Yo, fam, what's good? It's Jay. All right, so I'm gonna try this from my phone just to see if I could try one video first, just to see if it works. I'm gonna start off with AMD. All right, I threw out this one at 9:38 a.m. on Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe. But what did I see in the trade? So let's get to the basics and understand. What are some of the things that I look for when I'm going into a trade? So AMD, for example, I grabbed the 75 calls. They went over 200%. That's great. But for the purposes of education, why? What happened? And can it go further? So there's a couple of things I'm looking at when I'm looking at a trade. So we can see right here in the upper right hand corner, it has over 80 million in volume. So I start off with the daily time frame, and I see here on the daily time frame, there's a couple of things that I see right now. That yellow line that you see on these green, this dragonfly doji, that's called the 9 EMA. That currently crossed over the 21 and the 55. I typically like to see the 21 as the second indicator, and then the 55 below the 21. That's a full breakout. So that's the daily chart. Now you see down here, this is the TTM squeeze. If you don't know what the TTM squeeze is, it's a shift of momentum. And that shift of momentum will typically tell you what's happening within a specific security. And so the TTM squeeze, if you can see here on the history, you see how it's gone from red to orange. And so that momentum has now shifted from green going into blue. So we have a shift of momentum. So that's our second indicator. Right below these candles right here, we're also staring at 3 green bars on 11/16 going up to December 1st. These bars, these volume profiles are telling you that people are buying. My next indicator, next thing I like to look at is the MACD. So the MACD is flipping into green right now on the daily, which is letting me know, Jay, get in there. Now I could get fancy and I could draw a little cup here. But before I start with trend lines, let's look at other things. So the RSI right now is currently 65. The RSI at 70 is max overbought. So can I see this pulling back, slightly, maybe to 75 and then going back up? Absolutely. But we have to check with different time frames. Also, if you see right here at 78.10, where I hold 130 shares, I put a quick 10,000 racks inside there. What I'm looking for is for AMD to break above 78.30. That'll give me confirmation that it can go to 80. So I typically like to go outside the money for calls. When AMD was 74.20, I bought the 75 calls, which are currently 278%. I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart now. The 1 hour chart intraday is beautiful. The 1 hour right now is exactly what I wanted to look for. So the 1 hour shows me this yellow line right here, the 9 EMA. And then you see the green line, that's the 21. And then the purple line is the 55. That's a hard break. And then when we closed on one, two, three dojis. So another thing I'm looking at is when we close intraday on the 1 hour, what was happening below there? I see 1, 2, 3, 4 volume bars. And then you got the TTM squeeze you see on the 1 hour is blue. So we got a bunch of momentum shifting. So over here, when we were 71, you see how we were red. We were in a terrible area, a lot of selling pressure. You see on the 1 hour, the MACD flip also into the green. It's flying right now in the air. So I'm going to go now to the 4 hour time frame. So 1 hour to 4 hour in the daily. The 4 hour is giving me additional confirmation. So this to me is a perfect setup for like a 1 day swing. So if I looked at this at 74.30 and I said I'm going to jump on the 75s, that's the reason why I thought that this was a good trade. But what else did I look at besides the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the 9 EMA crossing the 21, the 55, the volume, the TTM squeeze momentum, the MACD flipping, order flow. Order flow is just, 25% of this we could see a lot of it is now off exchange since they created dark pools. the market makers, the manipulators. But the order flow gives you a basic consensus of what's happening. So as you can see here, the inflow is 1,318. We got 237 million large orders, and we closed out the day before Thanksgiving with 120 million in volume. So right now, the money is coming into to semis. If you looked at, whenever you're looking at a play too, you want to look at sympathy plays, right? So if I'm playing Walmart, I want to look at Target. If I'm playing AMD, I want to look at Nvidia. So, all right, bet. So I got confirmation for everything I need. I'm looking at inflow versus outflow. I'm looking at the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily. So I got confirmation for everything I need. I see the break. So now I'm gonna go to options. And now there's something I like to do here. So I look at the volume statistics and I'm like, all right, 375,000 calls, as you can see here below, versus 337 puts. So, call to put ratios. All right, go back to the options chain. I see the 78s for the weekly expiration have about 44,000 in volume. So a lot of people bought those 78s and 77s. But if I wanted to swing trade this, what would be a better swing trade indicator for maybe 2 weeks out? I will go to the weekly chart. Now on the weekly chart, you could technically say that we're in a downtrend still. And I'm gonna prove that right now. I'm gonna grab my trend line and I'm just gonna go to history, right? So I'm gonna grab the top and I'm gonna draw down. So I want to see, where's my trend line going. I'm gonna close out of this trend line and see, okay, we're still in a downtrend. So as far as swinging this, I'm also looking at the TTM squeeze. We see it turning red. We see the MACD flipping into flipping into red. So would I swing trade this for 3 weeks? Probably not, unless I knew there was a catalyst. Now, when I did get them at 75, news came out also on, on AMD raising prices, which was just a positive catalyst. But now they're throwing out a chip war, Taiwan risk and blah, blah, blah. Because what they'll do is the market makers, they'll throw out FUD to, get retail. Especially if they're shorting a position. So we can go to, analysis, scroll down below here, and it'll tell us more or less also if there's some bullish divergence, what things are happening. So we can see here on the daily and the medium, long term, it crossed above the 200-week moving average. So there's definitely, some positivity going on here. But if I really wanted to swing trade something, I'm going to grab Walmart. And Walmart is a perfect example of something that I'm looking to swing trade. So Walmart, I'm going to start off with the 1 hour. And please forgive me, I was charting this already before. But Walmart, when in doubt, zoom out. Walmart just looks beautiful on the 1 hour. Again, our normal pattern of the 9 EMA crossing the 21 and the 55 on a break. But I'm going to come out of here and go back into Walmart, and then I'm going to delete these trend lines. And I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart on Walmart. So what am I seeing on Walmart? I'm seeing the same patterns as AMD, and those went over 200%. Walmart doesn't have as much liquidity. Liquidity is volume, people purchasing. They got 5 million, right? So we see on the 4-hour on Walmart, the 9 crossed the 21 and the 55. Let's look at the order flow. Ton of order flow. So double, millions and millions pouring into Walmart. Why? Because growth at a reasonable price. So this market loves profitable companies right now. So now let's go to daily. Let's cross-reference everything. Now, this is a beautiful daily. Look at that. Look at that daily. Look at that daily on Walmart. Now I mentioned buying this last week. The calls went up already $20, but you can see right here on the daily, this shit crossed. Volume profiles are dope. Let's discard that. My internet is messing up here because the TTM squeeze is not showing up, but Walmart is breaking. So now I'm gonna go to the weekly chart, and now look at the weekly. Now we didn't see this on AMD. We saw a downtrending on AMD for the weekly, but for Walmart, it's creating this beautiful handle. I mean, this is just textbook. You could go. This is like internet type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I love Walmart for a swing trade. I'll probably look at the options chain. I'll go further out here and I'll pick like December 16th. I'll pick December 16th. I'll go further out just because that weekly is so beautiful. And boom, look at that. What do we have here? That money is flowing into the 155. So look at that open interest. Look at the volume. So there's just certain things you got to look for. If you ever want to turn on alerts for a stock, you could do that as well. I hope this video helps. This is just the beginning of a series of videos I'm going to do. But anyway, blessings. Happy Thanksgiving. Mad love. I'm out.